Hi, this is Jim Worthington, the owner of the Newtown Athletic Club, with you here from the Escape Resort Pool. You see some people walking up, tapping me on the shoulder. It's because we got members using the adult pool here at the club. First of all, I want to thank the few of you that are on tonight and those that catch it later on replay. I appreciate this. We've tried to do this at least once every 6 weeks or so, just to get everybody updated and facts on what's going on. And we find with our emails that they're not always open. Our Facebook, everybody always sees it, and this has been a great way to get information out to our members. So thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight. First thing I want to say that I want to address is a big thank you to all our members. I know last week and I guess Thursday and again Monday, we had enacted our enhancement fee that we charged, which was $100 per each membership unit. This was something that we explored back in July when we were talking about some of the difficulties we were having. We reached out, talked to members. Many members suggested that we up the dues, which we didn't think was a good idea, because once you did that, that was ongoing forever. We had other ones that said that we should charge during the close down when we were shut down, which we never would have considered. In fact, we didn't even charge for June once we opened on June 6th. We had members that wanted just to donate money, but after careful study and talking to other people in the industry, particularly other club operators and other club operators that on a regular basis, they have a thing called a facility or an enhancement fee that they found was good with their members, because what they would do is they would charge that fee, and it was understood that that money would go directly back into the club. So that's what we elected to do after talking to the staff. Originally, we talked about fees that were tiered, like a family would be $200, a couple would be $150, an individual would be $100. But we decided to go against that and just make it a flat $100 across the board. And frankly, 99% of the members have been great with it. They were fine. They were happy to support us, and we appreciate that, and thank you very much. Some members weren't. There wasn't that many, a handful. They were, I think some of it was because they potentially didn't get the emails or see the Facebook sessions we did, or all the things we did to try to get them to be familiar with it. After explaining, a lot of them were fine with it, and then some weren't. But that was a decision we needed to make to be able to keep the construction going. I'm happy to say that the amount of money that we collected will partially help us complete the women's locker room, which we hope to complete on October 15th. We have about $500,000 worth of work to continue there, and this will help about half of that. So again, a big thank you to our members. We appreciate that and stepping up, and we want to make sure you knew how we felt about that. I did want to go into next the COVID-19 stats, because the health club industry has gotten devastated by really false information. Keep in mind that back in April of this year, our staff, the Newtown Athletic Club staff, Kate Golden and Linda Mitchell, basically put together with the CDC guidelines for not just the NAC, but for the entire domestic fitness industry, and it was used in the international fitness industry as well. And they worked directly with the CDC through my contact, or my relationship with Jerome Adams, the Surgeon General, who was able to set that up. And we put in the guidelines with help from other people in the industry, and we designed what we thought at that time were some of the safest standards of any business in America. And as it turned out, we were right, because now the statistics are coming in and showing what has happened since people have returned to health clubs, and studies all across the country as well as internationally. So I did want to cite some of those to you and maybe ease some of people's minds that have been less inclined to come back, and even the ones that have come back, to let you know that what we're doing as an industry, and particularly the NAC, has been unbelievably successful. So I'm going to cite a couple studies. One was done by MXM, my buddy Blair McCaney out in California, or out in the West Coast. They did a survey of 2,877 clubs who, well, when I say a survey, they gave information on attendance, their attendance record since they opened to the middle of August of all the people that came into their clubs. And of those 2,877 clubs, there was 49.4 million visits between us all. And of those visits, there was a total of 1,155 COVID cases that were traced back to clubs, meaning there were people in the clubs that were traced back to the found out that did have COVID, that did attend the facilities. That was 0.001%, which was insignificant, really, almost negligible. And in fact, I think the more important statistic is not one person was traced back to get COVID in the clubs, the 2,800 clubs. Not one. So at 49.4 million attendances, not one person contracted COVID in those clubs. And I think that's astonishing, particularly when you read some of the media reports that basically try to scare you into thinking you shouldn't be coming back and exercising, which is, we all know, is the number one way to build immunity and keep yourself well during this crisis. The Pennsylvania Fitness Alliance, which is an alliance of 123 clubs, which was put together by the NAC, by the way, and Linda Mitchell, who spearheads it, to be able to facilitate best practices in health clubs in Pennsylvania. We all contributed our information as well, our check-ins. Of 391,978 check-ins after we opened to the middle of August, there was 10 cases traced back of COVID to health clubs. Again, 0 where you contracted COVID. So not one club did anyone go and visit. Of those 391,000 visits, did anyone get COVID from going to the club? So that's astonishing numbers as well. Again, the safety protocols, the social distancing, health clubs by nature are clean because of all the cleaning, all the precautions you need to do. And I do want to say that the work that Linda Mitchell did in there was phenomenal. Let's get to the NAC. The NAC, since we opened up on June 6th, there's been 130,751 visits, over 100,000 visits to the club. And during that time, up until just the other day, we took this up to last week, there are 4 cases of where COVID, someone was in the club that had COVID. More importantly, not one person contracted COVID in the NAC. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Joel Eckert, who's been here for over 30 years, who's the head of housekeeping here, who's done a phenomenal job. Everybody knows Joel. He's been here 35 years. And to our facilities team, led by my son Jack Worthington, installing all the things and things that need to be done to keep people clean. I will say one thing though, if you notice there's been an issue with the wipes here in the last couple of weeks, I have to say to you, tell you now there is. And the reason why is there's been a run on them throughout the United States. We ordered over 2 months ago wipes. They're back ordered all over the country. We're being told they're going to come in the next 2 weeks, so we have spray bottles and all that. So if you see the wipes are not there, it's not for lack of wanting them or purchasing them. They're nowhere to be found. They're like gold, and if we could find them and buy them, we would pay anything to get them. But so I did want to say that about the NAC is as safe a business as you get in. And keep in mind, in all this time where you had businesses like Walmart open, Walmarts that were open from day one, never closed. We're 3 times bigger than a Walmart. So if they could social distance, certainly we can. And we've used our outdoor facilities and everything else you can imagine to make sure people are safe. There's been other studies that have been done throughout the country. The Colorado study, another study that was done there showed that of 590 outbreaks in Colorado, during a specific time period. None of them were linked to health clubs, zero. There was a Norwegian Oslo study that showed that there was no COVID linked back to any facilities there since they've opened. In Australia, there was 6.26 million check-ins in 423 gyms. Not one case of COVID was linked back to getting it in a club in Australia. So there's a million studies out there. I've actually was reached out by the Surgeon General this Saturday. He reached out to me and asked me, Jim, how things going. He helps oversee the President's Fitness Council. He's a friend of mine. I gave him all the statistics. He's sharing that across the country. In fact, I got a call from a health club operator today from California that was in a meeting in California Monday with the Surgeon General, and he mentioned to her that I shared these statistics, these great statistics on health club usage and how we're so safe. So even the Surgeon General is aware of the fact that we are the place to be in terms of wellness and keeping well. And you all know all the benefits of fitness and the fact that 90% of the people that died of COVID had weight-related issues. In addition to comorbidities of at least 2 or more, hypertension, high blood pressure, along with the weight. So exercise is medicine. You've heard me say it 1,000 times. So I wanted to make sure you had the update on the COVID and how that stands. And by the way, one last shout out. Dr. Damsker, the director of the health department in Bucks County, has been a pleasure to work with, understands the importance of exercise, is a health club member, not here, but at one in Doylestown, and is a big proponent of exercise. So I did want to mention that and thank him as well. I wanted to talk about where we are financially, and first I want to say I was walking around the pool one day, the other day, I think it was Saturday, and one of my members or a couple came up to me and said, geez, Jim, I'm hearing that you may not be here and you're going to close down. And somebody actually even said that, the enhancement fee was a way for me to get money before we closed. I mean, I just was stunned by it. And I said, look, the NAC's going nowhere. It's been here for 40 years. God willing to be here another 40 years and hopefully owned by my family. And there's no chance of that ever happening. Yes, it's been difficult. You've heard me talk about the amount of revenue that we lost when we were closed, the $8 million, and it's been tough opening up because not as many people came back at first. And yes, we're operating at a loss right now for July, August, and so far in September, though we're creeping back, thank God. It's been tough. But, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to continue to forge ahead. And our goal has always been to be the top club in the world. We think we're in the top 5, and other people that are in the industry say that, so that's not just coming from me. And it's been tough. We probably went down from 5,300 memberships to 4,000 memberships. Many of the people that were members, it wasn't because they didn't want to be here. They just have a concern about safety. Hopefully they're on here tonight listening and reading the statistics that I just gave about the COVID. But slowly but surely they'll come back, and when they do, we'll be here for them. Yes, and I guess the big thing we're getting hurt by is that even though the members, isn't important as far as the revenue, where we really get hurt is we're not really able to open up the cafe right now, though we are going to open it up October 1. People have been slow to come back to personal train, salon and spa. So there are things that if you're looking to support the club, we could really use you thinking about coming back and using those services, because that really makes the difference between half the revenue covered by the memberships, or half the expenses covered by the membership, and the other half's covered by what we call ancillary revenues. In regards to what you can look forward to coming, let's say October 1, because people are starting to come back, you could look forward to an enhanced Group X schedule. When we opened up, we decided we didn't want to go too heavy on that. We weren't sure we'd get a lot of participation. We were right, we were getting it, but it was spaced out. We did a lot of the classes outside and still do. We did some in the gym. But we think with the advent of more people coming back every day, and that's what's encouraging, and that's why we're doing these things, more people are coming back every day. We're going to make the commitment to October 1, enhance that Group X schedule. And that includes 6 zone, where we're going to put an instructor back during the busy times in the morning and the afternoon. It is amazing. I just came out of the locker room to get a shower before I did this, and it was like 6:45, and 6 zone, there was 10 people in there doing it on their own. It's a popular program. People love it, even when they do it on their own. We'll get even more people once we put those instructors back there. Kids programs are going to start back October 1. We weren't sure what was going on with the school districts. We weren't sure what was going on, as far as people wanting the activities. What we found out that people and their families are dying to get active again. Honestly, the pool was never busier for the kids section this year than it's ever been. It seems like families are just feel like their kids are going to be safe and they want them to be active, which, as a member of the President's Fitness Council, that's kind of music to my ears, because I believe that kids need to be active, particularly in these times when things aren't exactly like they normally are. So October 1, we'll get back to those kids' youth programs that we have successfully run for years. The north entrance that we built this year, which for overflow, people ask about that. We probably won't be opening up that until the demand is there. We had thought when we built that our parking lots are typically packed even this time of year at night, and we want convenience of people being close by. Right now, we haven't gotten to the point where the upper lot, the main entrance lot, is being utilized as much as it has been in the past. But when that occurs, we'll open up the back lot here by the resort pool, or the back entrance, and you'll be able to be close to the door. Certainly in January, when the weather turns, regardless of what the attendance will be, we're going to open up that north entrance so that people, particularly families, can park closer to the back door. Let me see if I skipped anything here. A couple things I wanted to tell you about in October as well. There's going to be family events here, outside here actually, on Friday nights. We're exploring, and I hate to steal a concept, but it's a compliment. People have been stealing concepts for us for 40 years, so this is our chance. We saw what Shady Brook did down the road here, and they do a wonderful job. Of course, we're never going to be Shady Brook, but we do have great outdoor facilities. So we're going to do on Friday nights in October our own little mini Shady Brook and type situation, where we're going to have bonfires and hot dogs and music and adult beverages and all those good things for our members. So with a Halloween fall theme. So look forward to that. The staff is putting that together as we speak. On Tuesdays, our marketing director, Taylor Antolino, who's sitting right there actually, she put in last November a Together Tuesday, which was to allow non-members to come in with their member friends to experience the NAC. It's a good way to introduce people that haven't been here before, and it's also a good way to just give back to our community. Part of my mission on the President's Fitness Council is to, try to promote fitness and exercise with everybody, and not everybody wants to join a club, and not everybody, feels like they want to spend the money to join the club. But that doesn't mean that I don't believe in allowing people to come in and use the facilities. So I think it's a nice thing for our club. It's a nice thing for the community. So look forward in Tuesdays being able to bring your guests free of charge. And by the way, if the resort, God willing, there's been years where we've been open to the middle to end of October, and the way we're planning now, we're going to continue to be open till the middle end of October. So hopefully people can come in on Tuesday and go in the hot tub. I see some friends of mine, Joe Garvey over there in the hot tub. You remember Joe Garvey? He's
great job.
Thank you, buddy. He's over there. He's in the hot tub right now with a couple friends. So we plan on being here. The bar will be open. So there's some things. We have a special event which Linda Mitchell has helped put together. We've had members of the community that have joined a group that we formed a few weeks ago called Kids Lives Matter. And Kids Lives Matter is about trying to do things for kids during these turbulent and unusual times to get them involved. And one of the things, whether it be something for mental health, social, emotionally, there are things we have put together. We've had a number of meetings. We've so far we've got about 15 volunteers, and our big kickoff event is going to be held here on September 26th. It's going to be 12 noon to 4 p.m. Though I'm going to get Linda Mitchell to move back that 5 because I don't think it's long enough. And what we're going to do is we're going to invite all families and kids, and I think the age will go up to about 15, so infants up to 15, to come to the NAC that day free of charge as our guest. And the idea is that we can get people together in a physical, social setting. Of course, we'll social distance. We have, and all the things just like we've always done here, particularly this summer. But we're going to invite everybody. So that means members, friends, people that aren't friends of members, everybody we can. It will be a sign-up basis, so we won't be overrun with people. But that's our first kickoff event, and we're going to do other things other than that. But before COVID, Linda and I, through the President's Council, we're going to be the beta site for getting the community involved, and we're going to use that field house up there to offer free programming for little kids all the way up to seniors, free of charge throughout the week. Group X, exercise classes, kids activities. It was our way to give back to the community. Unfortunately, COVID killed that, but we're now reintroducing through the Kids Lives Matter moniker, and we've never been more excited about doing something because, look, there's studies that showed 75% of kids have had thoughts of suicide here in recent studies. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And with schools still not fully open, we feel that we can play a part in helping out, and it's part of the platform of what the NAC does, and we're pleased to do that. So Kids Lives Matter, look for that coming out in the next few days from Linda Mitchell, and a whole other things that we're going to do under that umbrella. That is really about it, other than some questions that I think we're going to get. There were some that were asked prior to this talk, and then there was other ones that people can call in. So fire away. Taylor.
When can I expect to use the steam room or sauna?
So the question is, when can I expect to use steam room or sauna? Well, there's a couple issues with that. One is, under the CDC guidelines, the way we interpret to them, we do not think the sauna and steam room is something that should be used at this point in time. Remember, you're in a closed environment. You're probably within 6 feet of each other. We don't feel as comfortable. Now, I know other people have done that, but we do not want to impact our perfect record of no COVID transmissions in the NAC. Now, ironically, the women's locker room is going to open up on, and I need to go back to that. I got to go back to that on October 15th. So, and they will have a brand new sauna and steam. And maybe by then, if I get the go-ahead from Dr. Damsker, the health director in Bucks County, I will then do that, because I'm not going to supersede the health director. He knows what's healthy or not. But certainly we've been hesitant to do that. Now, as far as the men's are concerned, they don't have a steam or sauna. So if that question was asked by a male, they're probably saying, well, when are we going to get our steam and sauna back? Well, the reality is you're not going to get it back, a new one, anytime soon. But what will happen when the women move out of the old men's locker room, we have decided to repurpose that sauna and steam room to give you the old one back. We'll do everything we can to get it, up and running and as good as we can, and then have you utilize that then. Unfortunately, doing the old men's locker room, redoing that back and making it the same as the new men's locker room, is a $2 million project along with the European spa and all that stuff. So we don't have the funding to be able to do that right at the moment. Let me, and I'm glad that question because I forgot about what's going on. Let me back up on the women's locker room. I said earlier there's about $500,000 of work to be done. Really, when you get to the end of a project like that, there's a lot of money left, but there's a short time frame because they're banging out tile and lighting and all that stuff, and it all comes together at the end, and it's like we have probably 15, 20 guys in there, and the company that's doing the work, third generation, has been phenomenal, by the way. The biggest thing that's holding us up open that, to be honest with you, is the furniture hasn't come in. We think the women's locker room is going to be done around the beginning of October, but by the time the furniture comes, it's going to be around October 15th. So that's the date we picked. I will tell you, and I've said it before in these past Facebook Live discussions, the women's locker room will rival the Four Seasons hotel locker rooms, the Ritz-Carlton. That's what we designed them after. They are going to be spectacular. So, it's going to be something you're really going to be proud of and really going to want to use. So that's the answer to the steam room question. I do want to segue back to one other thing. As you notice, as you come into the club, you're rerouted through the front entrance by the pool, the indoor pool. So you're looking down as you go down that long hallway. We expect to have the new stairwell done somewhere around the first week in October. At that time, you'll be able to walk into the front desk, make a left, go down the steps like you used to the fitness center, the locker rooms, to 6 zone, the basketball courts. So we're looking at that in the beginning of October. And what we are going to do, we're not able to finish up the 2 rooms to the left, which is where Techno Gym's going to be, and the spin room, which is where the old spinning room was, and Studio 2. We're not going to be able to finish those right now. But we are going to wall them off, and you'll have a hallway directly to Pulse and to the Mind Body area. So it'll be much more convenient. We'll have better traffic flow. You won't have to go around in a circle to get out. So that's good. And the other thing that's going to allow us to do is open the cafe back up because of the traffic patterns, we weren't able to open up the cafe. But now that the traffic will be able to be rerouted around there, we feel comfortable with the social distancing that the cafe could be opened up. Some of the other things, construction projects, they're basically on hold. We're going to finish this up. We have to get our feet back on the ground, and certainly you guys were kind enough to help us out with the enhancement fee, but that's not something we're looking to do anytime again, hopefully, and that we'll be able to recover, that we'll be able to handle things on our own. Do you have another question, Taylor? Go ahead.
Why would you implement a new enhancement fee that you expect the members to pay because you refuse to delay construction projects? It seems like you are using the members to line your pockets.
I'm not sure. I want to make sure I get this one right. The question was, it's hard to read your writing, by the way. Why would you implement a new enhancement fee that you expect the members to pay because you refuse to delay construction projects? You're just using your members to line your pockets. Well, there you go. I didn't expect that one, so let me think about that. Well, first of all, in regards to lining my pockets, any money that comes in here goes directly to the creditors because every dime comes in here goes to pay a bill right now. And a lot of it, and the promise was that the money would use to pay the contractors, and trust me, the only thing that's keeping that going right now is is that enhancement fee. In fact, I just wrote a $200,000 check today to third generation because of the enhancement fee. So trust me, it's not about lining my pockets. Now, I didn't really expect that, but let me just say this as well, is that you have a choice. Everybody has a choice. I mean, we don't expect you to pay that. And in fact, there were people that came in, a handful, 20, 30 people that didn't want to pay that, and we understood that. we would like, and we let them out of their membership, and they weren't charged $100. We would never do that to somebody that didn't believe it. You know, after 40 years, we had hoped that maybe after discussing it, a long, hard look at it, that you know, that people would believe that it's a club, and I mean, and it's a sense of community. You know, I'll give you an example. There's hundreds of people right now that are still coming free to the NAC. When we reopened, we didn't cut them off. We didn't say, hey, you can't come in even though you're free. So you might look at the $100 as helping defray the cost of those people for coming free. Or you may look at it as, you know, a country club. I mean, country clubs basically have enhancement fees from time to time to help them get better. I was under the impression the members would want us to continue on and make the place good. I mean, I look at it as people's home. I mean, we've had employees here that have worked here 40 years. We've had members here 40 years. I mean, honestly, I have had I've had nothing but people come up to me and say that they're all on board with it and appreciate it. But it's a fair question. Trust me, if my pockets didn't have holes in them right now from the money going right to there, I could see you maybe thinking that, but clearly that's not the case. And you know, I think the financial information I've given over the last 3 months of the impact on not only us but my industry, 30 to 40% of health clubs are going to go out of business by year end. Gold's Gym filed for bankruptcy, corporate. Town Sports International, which is the New York Sports Clubs, Philly Sports Club, going bankrupt. What scares me is clubs that are iconic clubs. We've had a couple of them close. The Claremont Club in California, 45 years in existence. Mike Albert's one of the greatest health club operators in America, shut down a month ago. You know, I'm not alarming you. That's not going to happen, but our goal is to be the best in the world, and we're damn close to it. So we thought, after all these years of charitable giving and giving away over $1 million a year, we thought that our members would like to help us out. But again, it's a personal decision. If somebody didn't feel like that, I have no problem with that either. So thank God, 99% of the people have been on board. Any other?
One more. Why can I no longer freeze due to COVID?
That's a good question. Why can't I freeze anymore because of COVID? You know, the biggest issue with a business is the uncertainty. So we had at one point allowed people to the tune of well over 1,000 people freeze their memberships, and you still can freeze your membership if your doctor feels you're compromised and you're at high risk. All you need to do is get a doctor's note saying that, you know, you feel you're compromised and shouldn't come here. So you can freeze, but we allowed people not to come back. June was free, and then July and August were months that people started paying again, and we allowed people to freeze till September. But what kills a business is uncertainty. And we need to really be able to evaluate where we are. And, you know, freezing is no different than, you know, terminating, in a sense that you don't feel comfortable paying the dues. We get that. Don't pay the dues. We have to figure out where we stand. And if we carry too many people on a freeze without understanding when they're going to come back, we don't know how many more members we can bring in. Certainly, we don't want to overcrowd the club, because that's an issue. If half the people decided to come back, you know, September 15th, and now you got more people in than you need, we still are under the state guidelines, even though that was struck down in court the other day. Governor Wolf's directive on us. We're still operating technically at 50%. So we have to really know what we're faced with, and we thought it was more than fair to give the people the opportunity to freeze to September 1, but now it's time to make the decision. And I think, again, we respect everybody's opinion on whether they think it's safe to come back or not, but we also we're an operating business, and we just have to make a decision. And as of September 1, we just felt that it was necessary to find out where everybody stood and concentrate on the members we have to make sure that we're delivering the best club possible for them. I did want to give a shout out. There was an article I read right before here, Amanda Sinkler, another COVID statistic, but it was an article in a paper. I forget the name of it. It was the Newsbreak published it. It was on Facebook before I came down here. I think it's a publication. They basically reported late this afternoon that our summer camp, with over 600 attendees throughout, different unique attendees throughout the summer, kids, not one outbreak, not one issue with COVID, nobody got sick, nobody contracted COVID. So I wanted to give a shout out to Amanda Brown on that, and also a pitch to a plug for our preschool. They just opened up September 1. It's phenomenal. Now they're doing kindergarten. She also oversees that phenomenal staff. But look, the NAC is blessed with the finest staff in the fitness industry. I'm proud to say we kept them employed all the way through. Our biggest problems, a lot of them have not come back because of their fear of COVID. They're all welcome back at any time, just like the members are, and we're just doing everything we can to be the best we can be. And I will tell you, we have been a symbol in the industry, and credit my employees, the people that run this place. We have been a bright light in the fitness industry that a lot of clubs throughout America and internationally have looked up to as a leader in how to do it right, and getting it right, and continuing to service their members. We're the only club I know that has pushed ahead with construction, thanks to you guys helping us out, just this last week. So it's been tough for everybody, but I can tell you, we've shined. Our staff has shined. Our members that have supported us have shined. And I'm looking in the fitness center right now, and it's not like it was in January this past year, but it's busy, and people are respectful, and they're social distancing, and they're wearing their masks, the people that feel like they should. They're using the hand sanitizer, and that's a credit to our members and you folks that are listening tonight, that we haven't had one incident of COVID transmission here. So unless you have any other questions, we'll check back within a month or so from now and give you the update. But again, I can't thank you folks enough. 99% of you supported what we did, and we love our NAC members.